Question 12 has its application in mechanics now. The displacement x, which in mechanics would sometimes be written as an s. The displacement at time t of a particle is given by, so I'm just going to rewrite that in a handy fashion. That's going to be 4 open brackets. Let me have a think about this for a second. I'd record that as t to the minus 1, which is 1 over t, plus t squared divided by t is just t. So I'd like to write this as t to the minus 1 plus t, all square rooted, so that's to the power half. That's much nicer. We're going to have to determine the value of the velocity when time is 2, t equals 2, and the velocity is going to mean we will need to differentiate this with respect to t, and it's quite tricky, so we're going to use the chain rule. So if I start by pick a letter, any letter, I'll go y equal t to the minus 1 plus t, such that x now becomes equal to 4y to the half. I can now differentiate x with respect to y to get 4 times a half is 2y to the minus a half. I can differentiate over here y with respect to t to get minus t to the minus 2 plus 1. And then using the chain rule, I can get I need dx by dt is what I'm looking for. So I'll get that by doing dx by dy times by dy by dt, so that the dy bit cancels to leave behind x over t. And that's going to be x over y is 2y to the power minus a half. And then the dy by dt bit, I might as well take the liberty at this moment to write this as 1 minus t to the minus t, just a little bit neater. And we need to remember that we need to substitute back in our original expression for y here, and y was t to the minus 1 plus t, and that's going to give us effectively what the velocity is, which is dx by dt, and the velocity is going to be equal to, I'm going to write this bit, let's put that in, let's just go right ahead and say, I'll do this bit first, it's nice and easy, 1 minus t to the minus 2, open brackets, this is now going to be 2 t to the minus 1 plus t to the minus a half, and let's rewrite that as v equals 1 minus 1 over t squared, open brackets, 2 over root 1 over t plus t. God, that doesn't look very friendly at all. Doesn't really matter. We're now going to find out what the value of v is when t, I've not written that right, when t equals, I've forgotten what the question is now, when t equals 2, v equals, well, I'll get you started off and we'll just say, open brackets, 1 minus 1 over 2 squared, which is 4, close brackets, 2 divided by the square root of 1 over t is a half, plus t, which is 2, and you're on your way there. Round that to 3 sig figs. Job's a good one.